Hello, I'm Carla Banks, Communications and Marketing Director for the City of Greensboro, and I'm honored to MC today's program. Thank you for joining us for the second annual Virtual Dignity event. We all know the foundation of the Interactive Resource Center is built on serving our community. Since we cannot be together in person, the IRC needs your support more than ever. We thank you for joining us today. We're asking for less than 30 minutes of your time to learn about all of the wonderful things the IRC has done this year. I can assure you this will be time well spent on a worthwhile cause. If you're not familiar with the IRC, we'll provide a brief overview of the amazing community services and hear from some of those who make up the IRC community and learn how they maneuvered the ongoing challenges posed by COVID-19. Please help spread the word about this event by using the hashtag #DigitalDignity. The link for this event can be shared after the program, so please share it with your friends and family and help support our most vulnerable population in Greensboro. Remember, at any time you can make a donation on the IRC Facebook page or simply visit the website at interactiveresourcecenter.org. Now, for the moment you've been waiting for and the person you really want to hear from, please welcome Executive Director Christina Singleton.
My name is Christina Singleton. I came to the IRC 5 years ago as a staff member and a volunteer 2 years before that. I will say that the second I walked through the front doors of the IRC, I knew that I wanted to be a part of everything that we carry on here. The IRC is a community, not just a building. The IRC's foundation is built on meeting people where they are. Any kind of need that you have, if you're experiencing homelessness, we can help you. Oftentimes, folks come to us when there's nowhere else to turn. Whether a person needs medical help, a shower, laundry, to get their mail, a job, or help finding housing, we are here for them. When there's nowhere else to turn in Greensboro, we are the place for folks that can come in and receive the help that they need with dignity and respect. So last year when we did Digital Dignity, we hoped that it would be our first and only Digital Dignity. We love nothing more than having the community show up and being able to tell our stories of the year and what's ahead. But we want to keep everyone safe. So instead, we're bringing the IRC to you today, and we thank you for your time. We want you to know what's gone on here this year, and we want you to know what's going to happen moving forward. We're so grateful for all of our partnerships in the community, and they have really helped us through COVID. It's exceptionally hard for our guests when you don't have a sink to wash your hands in, when you may not have a mask to wear around town, but we've received so much support. Cone Health especially has helped us. We were the first organization in the state to offer COVID testing and also to offer the first vaccine clinic. We're extremely proud of that. We want to help mitigate the spread of COVID in our community, and we're so grateful for everyone's help to do that. With the winter months coming up, we can't pile everybody in the day room like we normally do to keep them warm on cold nights. We've never had a death in Guilford County since we started our White Flag shelter due to cold weather, and we don't plan on starting now. We hope to do another hotel program this year so that people are not in congregate setting and we can keep everyone safe. But we need your help as always. One of the things I love the most about the funding of the IRC is that if you break down the percentages, so much of our funding comes from small individual gifts of people in the community, just like me and you. It's important for us to remember that we're not at war with the poor. We're all in this together. Last year, we made a gift for all of the staff at IRC with a quote from Father Greg Boyle. It said, "There is no us and them, there's only us."
I think the IRC Day Shelter is one of the most important places that we have in the city. It really gives people who are living without shelter an opportunity to come in and wash their hair and take a shower, do their clothes. But it also does more than that. It really is workforce development. It helps people prepare a resume. It helps people prepare for the interview. It provides bus passes for people to get to an interview and then to help them over that hump between the interview and when they get their first paycheck. It really treats the person holistically. I think sometimes when people think of a day shelter, they think of a room that has a TV in it and a bunch of people sitting around. And it's not that. It is so much more than that. It's looking to give people a future.
So the IRC is about a partnership between the Greensboro Fire Department, the city as a whole, and really a resource that we depend on as an organization, the fire department that provides a service. We look for ways to partner with agencies that will improve our relationship with our community. And that relationship looks and sounds maybe a little different than what you would normally be used to for a fire department to say, but it is truly about finding affordable and safe housing, trying to keep folks out of really abandoned buildings where we have in the past had problems with fires. And we have truly built this relationship and partnership and have seen a reduction in injuries due to unattended fires in abandoned structures.
This is the moment when we pause to say thank you. This virtual Dignity event would not be possible without the generous support of our sponsors. We also want to recognize the following individuals and groups for their ongoing support, especially during these challenging times. It certainly takes a village to meet the needs of those experiencing homelessness. Let's take a moment to hear from members of the board and guests of the IRC to explain why your support is critical to this mission.
I'm Kay Brown, and I'm a board member of the IRC. I became involved with the IRC through my advocacy work in Greensboro and in Guilford County. At the IRC, we are a place where people can go when they may be at their lowest moments, they need support, they're experiencing houselessness, or they are in some sort of crisis where they can go to get support. People from different walks of life can support the IRC in a lot of different ways. Some people volunteer their time, and some people, which this is also important, donate their money, and we need that too. It is very important that we all help and support the clients and the guests that we have at the IRC, because you never know when you may be going through a crisis or experiencing houselessness. There are a lot of people in Greensboro and in Guilford County that absolutely need your support. We are all in this together. We cannot have a healthy and successful and prosperous Greensboro if we are not uplifting and supporting those of us who have the least. At the IRC, we do not blame poor people for being poor. We do not discourage people from coming into our doors and needing support in the times that they may be going through some real serious hardships. What we do is support them through your donations and through your volunteer time to get them to a place where we can also work with them to put them in a place where they can achieve long-term success. In addition to that, one of the things that we really fight against as board members and as staff is against the conditions that allow poverty to flourish in our communities in the first place. Your donation will make a huge impact in people's lives. Here are some of their stories.
The IRC means a whole lot to me, because if it wouldn't been for the IRC and the people that's there and the caring people that's there for everybody, not just me, not just one color or not just one creed or not just one race or religion, they help everybody that wants help, because you got to want it to be able to accept it. And I just thank God and the IRC, because they helped me out from living on the street to being where I am today. I come out of prison in March the 15th of 2020, and COVID had just hit. So I got out. I thought I got out at a bad time, and it looked pretty bleak at first. And 2 weeks after I got out, I spent some nights in a hotel, spent a lot of nights on the concrete outside of the front of the DPS office. And then I got in touch with y'all, and the road has been kind of rough, but I'm where I'm at now, and I thank God for it.
So I met William when we moved about 150 people into the Greensboro Sportsplex. That was when COVID was, we didn't know what was going on. We didn't know what the world was gonna look like, and we were tasked with providing shelter for people who didn't have any so they could stay safe. So he went with us from the Sportsplex as we then got funding to move people into hotels, and stayed in the hotel program through its duration, and then into Open Door Ministries, and now into his apartment. One of the key things that we did when we had people in the hotels was the stimulus checks came out. You know, they were available for everybody through the IRS, and a lot of people thought they had to have earned money because it was framed as a tax credit or a tax rebate, but it was available for anybody under a certain income. So myself and another staff member went over, and every day for about a month scheduled appointments all day with people in the hotels, sat down with them, walked them through the IRS portal. Because they were in the hotel, they had a mailing address that it could be sent to if they didn't have a bank account. And we had about 100 people who received their stimulus checks who probably wouldn't have otherwise. William was one of those people.
One thing that helped me on is to start saving, to get my clothing and stuff like that when I started my job at Goodwill, which I started in September of 2020.
When the second round of checks came, he used it to buy his scooter to get around to work. And so it's just really exciting to see him living independently and living on his own. And that's the goal. We don't want it to be where we have to see people every single day. The goal is you live your own life, and now we get to keep in touch on a regular basis as we want to.
Living here on my own has been nice. I just want to thank God and thank the IRC for putting me up, helping me out.
For me, with the homeless, it gave me a purpose, like maybe this, homeless, maybe this is what I was here for, you know, to experience this and meet the people that I met. So, you know, it kept me from looking at it like as a curse or I was dealt a bad card. I guess I've been homeless off and on about 15 years. But I've always been able to stay out of trouble. So I'm glad of that, because that kept me from, you know, from holding me back or slowing things slower than they have been.
I've noticed, I've been here 3 years, and I noticed during our winter months, Shannon was always kind of hesitant of staying in the shelter along with his peers. He's very much an independent gentleman, kind of enjoys his own space. So a lot of cases during the winter shelter, he would stay outside. You know, we'll provide the blankets, additional sleeping bags, and things need to stay warm. So the opportunity that he provided us and allowing us to help him was a great opportunity. And I'm glad that he allowed himself to be helped to get the permanent housing he received.
I think the turning point for Shannon was being able to stay in the hotel during COVID. And it was a change in environment that he felt was positive, and it got him thinking about what he could maybe do for the next step on his own journey. When the hotel project ended, he was ready to look on to something new and ready for us to help him.
Yeah, so for me, it's just had to show myself that how bad do you not want to go back to them streets? You know, I could hear all the stuff when I was in the group homes and all the punishments you get when the whoopings you got and all the people telling you the stuff when you messed up. I can hear it now, like, you know, how bad do you want it? Do you want them streets again? Yeah, you can survive it. Yeah, you good at it, but it's not fun. You just have to be good because that's what you're going through. And after being here in that hotel, and the hotel was like a little crumb. They go, a little crumb. And after 2 months, it was like, I like them crumbs. Being in here is like, man, I'm cool with the neighbors. I go out there and they speak. Even got a cat to run around here, feed him, and he still be scared to let me pet him long enough to feed him. So, well, as long as I've been homeless, you know, it's been, you know, nights and sometimes I walk down the street and see people lights on and be like, man, they look like they having a nice time in there, you know, even though you can't see them, the house just look. So now when I could be going to the store, I come back and I look at this place like, man, I leave the lights on purpose. I'm like, man, that's my house. I no longer have to walk down the street and look at people's houses and say, that house look cozy, I wish I was in there.
Shannon is a perfect example of what we do here at the Interactive Resource Center. We don't force people to change. We meet people where they are. We provide the needed assistance that they need at that time. We provide opportunities, and we allow the individuals to walk in those opportunities, not force them to the opportunities. During that process, we're showing compassion and understanding. So once the individual is ready, we're there to help them be successful.
After watching that, one word comes to mind: impressive. By now, I hope you are equally as impressed as I am to witness the dedicated, boots-on-the-ground work this organization accomplishes day in and day out. I also hope you are inspired to become part of the solution. At the beginning of the program, I told you this would be time well spent. The IRC lived up to that. Showcasing the Dignity event virtually reinforces how the IRC provides critical support to our community, keeps the mission moving forward, and helps this community stay strong. We would be remiss if we wrapped up this event without recognizing an individual who has been critical to the success of the Interactive Resource Center. We want to take a moment to recognize and say thank you to former Executive Director Michelle Kennedy for her dedication and tireless service to the IRC.
Hi, my name is Jim King. I'm board chair of the IRC this year, and on behalf of the board, I would really like to thank Michelle for everything that she has done for the IRC during her tenure as executive director here. Michelle picked up the work that had been done previously, and she really elevated the IRC to a whole new level. She was the first on the scene when the tornado happened, taking the IRC to the center of that. And when COVID occurred, Michelle didn't bat an eye, leading her team to help the people experiencing homelessness in Greensboro, to provide them a safe way to ride out through the pandemic. Michelle has done a fabulous job of seeing the need and bringing a great team together to address that need and provide comfort for people experiencing homelessness. And more than anything, I think that she has really embraced putting dignity into people's lives. On behalf of the board, I wish Michelle the best of luck in her new job. I think that she's going to be in a great position to really help Greensboro and the people of Greensboro. And I thank her for the 7 years that she gave us in elevating the IRC.
You're the engine that makes all things go, and you're always in disguise, my hero. I see your light in the dark, smile in my face when we all know it's hard. There's no way to ever pay you back. Bless your heart, no, I love you for that. Honest and selfless. I don't know if this helps it, but good job. You're doing a good job, a good job. You're doing a good job, don't get too down. The world needs you now. Know that you matter, 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 yeah. You're doing a good job, a good job. You're doing a good job, don't get too down. The world needs you now. Know that you matter, 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 yeah.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you, Michelle. I teach my students a saying that to the world you're one person, but to one person you are the world. And there are so many people and so many entities and agencies that Michelle Kennedy is the world. She is a cyclone of change.
Michelle, we're going to truly miss you, and thank you.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you for all the work that you've done here, and I want to thank you personally for what you mean to me.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you, Michelle, but you're still just one phone call away.
Michelle, thank you for your leadership. Thank you for blazing the trail for all of us. And most of all, thank you for entrusting me to carry on your torch. We all know that I have really big flip-flops to fill.
It's hard for me to imagine not walking in the door here every day. It's hard to imagine what life is like outside this place. It's become so much a part of who I am. And that's not something that's unique to me. It happens to everybody that spends really any amount of time here. You become part of this community and you give yourself over to it and you're made better because of it. And I said when I was leaving, I'm just changing seats. The IRC is something that I hold dear and will continue to. I know the IRC is in the right hands with Chris. She's the right person to take it to the next level, to move it through the next phase of its growth. I will always be a sustainer of the IRC. I hope that you will. I hope that you look, as you always have, and determine how you can stretch, how you can give, how you can make a meaningful contribution to this work, because we literally can't do it without you, and more importantly, our guests literally can't live without those contributions.
Thank you, Michelle. In conclusion, I would like to ask you to consider donating at this time to the IRC and make that donation in honor of Michelle, to recognize the outstanding work and leadership that she has given us over the years.
We've heard from sponsors, staff, board members, and guests. Now it's time to hear from you. Greensboro has earned a reputation for continually stepping up, coming together, and partnering to help those in need. This is where you can keep in line with that spirit of generosity by making a donation in whatever amount you are able to give. Simply go to the IRC website at ircgso.org to give an online donation or drop a check in the mail. Thank you for investing this time to learn more about the Interactive Resource Center. Remember to help spread the word. Together, we can make a difference. Thank you.